Hey YouTube fam, YouTube world, ladies and gents, how you doing? Man, it's a Monday afternoon. It's hot as Hades down here in Georgia. This is John coming to you from the Frugal Prepper John. Obviously, I'm John. Before we get started, hit that sub button, hit that like button. Come on, we gotta get some comments going down below. I know this is a new channel. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know your thoughts on the content. And being that this is a new channel, I'm going to pump out a lot of content to get this built up pretty quick. And then once we get plateaued, then we'll level out and then we'll get a nice schedule of content coming out. But here's a little lesson for today. And hopefully I'll try and keep this short and sweet as well. Today we're going to talk about silver. Silver for dummies. Okay, so we've got a quarter. This is a quarter. And then we've got a dollar bill. We've got a dollar bill. Okay. Now, what is silver? Silver is not rich. It's not really an investment, guys. Let's get rid of that dirty smoker. So it's not really an investment. It is an investment, but it's not an investment. I mean, what it really is a transfer of wealth. Again, sorry, I write like a third grader. Deal with it. If you should be able to read it, but I'm speaking what I'm writing, so give me a break. So it's a transfer of wealth. I'm going to explain this like it was explained to me back when I was researching silver. Old timer explained this to me, and it makes a lot of sense, and it really stuck in my head. So transfer of wealth. This is one of those things. Precious metals is okay. I'm making investments. I'm doing preps. Yada yada. Do what rich people do. What are rich people doing right now? What do rich people do? They invest in precious metals. They buy bunkers. They buy bunkers over in Switzerland, and they buy firearms, and they do all kinds of things, guys. So they're prepping just like us, just on a bigger scale. So back to the point, transfer wealth. So I'm gonna make a chart here. This is a chart, okay? First off, for this example, and this is exact same reference that was explained to me. 1 gallon of milk. Okay, so years ago, throughout the years, this doesn't hyperinflation. What's really going on right now? I haven't run any numbers, but it might be a little fudge during hyperinflation when because in hyperinflation, where the cost of goods shoot up very fast, so gold and silver might not always keep up with that, but this is just a general consensus. Okay, so I've got a gallon of milk. 30, 40, 50 years ago, a quarter, and the amount of silver in a quarter would value and buy a gallon of milk. 5 years ago, the value of the content of silver in that exact same quarter would buy you a gallon of milk. Now today, gallon of milk is $5. Are you following me? That same quarter, over the past several decades, that is worth enough to buy a gallon of milk. Right now, the silver content in that same exact quarter from 40, 50 years ago, give or take, still has the silver value content to still buy a $5 gallon of milk. So that's the transfer of wealth. So buy silver today. The money you spend today that you're going to buy silver, that's money you could have went out and bought a vehicle and bought $500 worth of groceries and paid your light bill, yada yada yada. Okay, so here's going to be, we'll start here in the middle. So we'll just say this line is silver, and then these are all the things that I can buy with that value of silver. Okay, so 90s, 2000s, the 2020s, 2030s. Okay, so transfer of wealth. So I'm not getting rich off of this investment, but I am able to keep up with the cost of goods. You follow me? So the money I spend right here on silver, gold, whatever. Personally, I like silver. It's cheaper to obtain, and I like getting a lot of it. Gold, I don't have a lot of money spent on gold, but anyway. So what I cash money is what I can still buy down the road, down the road, down the road. Now let's say you put your money in a savings account, or you stuff it in up under your pillow, under your blanket, yada yada yada. This is what happens. So today, I'm buying what I could with the cash. Let's say I take that cash, and instead of going out and buying a vehicle or buying groceries, paying a light bill, I take that extra money and I stuff it in my piggy bank. I stuff it up under my pillow and my pillowcase, hide it in my closet. Well, guys, this is what happens to that dollar bill. A dollar bill's fiat currency. Fiat. It's fake. It's fake flipping money. There's no gold standard to the dollar bill. In most countries, it's not. So over time, the value of that dollar you did not spend today, 5 years, 10 years, next year, next week is how we're rolling here lately. Next week, that dollar is not going to buy the amount of goods you could have when you first had that dollar in your hand. So this is where the transfer of wealth comes from. So hopefully I explained that well. And if you're looking into precious metals and whatnot, I'm talking about physical gold, physical silver, physical. It's when you buy silver or gold, you want it in your hand. Ship it to your house. Now, the last time I looked this up, and it's probably got worse, there's a lot of companies out there that sell paper silver, paper gold. And what that means is that company has, let's just use gold for example. Okay, excuse me, gold, and they've got 1 ounce of silver, and then they're going to sell you a piece of paper, saying, "Hey, you bought this ounce of silver for, let's say, $1,800 for that ounce, right?" Keep up with me. This is how paper precious metals work. So this 1 ounce of gold, it's been several videos I've looked into this. I probably should have done it before this video, but you guys can do your own research, so my bad. But years ago when I done this, these companies that do this, for every 1 ounce of paper silver, it has 28 to 32 owners. So yeah, so that's bad. That's bad, guys. So when things get really bad and they're getting worse, and all these people with paper gold, paper silver, any paper precious metals, as things get worse, people are going to start calling in and cashing in that paper. They're going to say, "Hey, I want my gold. Hey, I want my silver." And it's just going to be just like it was in the Great Depression, guys, back in the 20s, when everyone bombarded the banks, and they're like, "Hey, I want my money. I want my money." Well, the banks don't hold enough money to give everybody their money. So what happened? They lost all their money they had in the banks. The banks shut down. No one bailed them out. So you're going to have 28, 32 owners per 1 ounce of gold is an example here. And oh man, you're gonna lose it. So I highly advise against paper silver. Do not buy any paper precious metals. If you do, you are a dummy. You're a big dummy. Now, what you can do, buy physical gold, buy physical silver. I actually got a lot of copper too, guys. Copper goes pretty good. Right now, copper is not considered a bullion. Right now, silver is considered the poor man's gold. And then as things get worse and worse, as years go by, Copper will eventually become a bullion, and then it's really considered a poor man's silver. So if you can't afford silver, you buy copper. So personally, I don't like buying gold. Excuse me, gold. Reason why I don't like buying gold: the biggest use for gold is in jewelry. Okay, what's the real big need in society for jewelry, cosmetics? There's not one. Silver, on the other hand, silver, the biggest use for silver is industrial purposes. So, industrial purposes, they're using it in electronics and buildings and anything you could think of. Silver is being used, even like your little light switch or your little breakers. They all have a dab of silver in them. Your keyboards, they've got silver in them. Your computers, I mean, about every electronic you can think of has got a speck of silver in it. So gold is going into jewelry. It's not disappearing. Silver is being mined, taken out of the ground, and it's being destroyed by industry use, which is not a bad thing, but it just, the price to silver and gold is not accurate, and the rich of the rich, or the rich of the 1%, whatever, manipulate the market and control the price of gold and silver. So in my opinion, silver should be way higher than gold. And as soon as the big boys quit playing around and things get real and things reset, silver's going to be where it's at. And if you actually look back to, I believe it was Mississippi or Alabama was actually purchased with nothing but silver. So that's a fun fact. I should Google that too, but go look it up on your own. Do all your own research. Don't believe everything you hear from one guy on YouTube. Research. And that's my little lesson today, guys. So go buy physical precious metals. Do not buy paper. Thanks for watching.